Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, guys. How are you guys?
How's
How are
everyone
we
doing
doing?
tonight?
Good to
Seeing
see you
who's
already in the
popped in the
chat.
chat. Yeah, Brad, Clean Sheet Wipeout, Michael Devlin, hello. Robin and
We're a bit,
Ian.
guys. We're a bit tired as well tonight, so apologies if we're a bit slow.
Yeah, we're getting pumped though, right now. Um,
Just loving the game, loving it. Yeah,
yeah. Late riser, he had a good game week this week, up to 15th, I think, overall with AK in his team. Brookie,
exactly.
evening
Yeah.
Brookie. Ian, Alexander, Angus, Ram. I think Ram's one of the new players, which is good. Nice to
Welcome
see
all.
you all. Should we crack on
Also,
into
if
it,
you,
Andy? And
yeah. I mean, if you guys that joined Game Week 5 are now cracked the top 1K, haven't they? So,
yeah, four of them, I believe.
which is better than what I've done. So, well done to those guys.
Yeah, are you off the bottom?
I think I'm third bottom apparently, according to James.
Nice. Making progress.
48 points this week, so I'm very pleased with it. It's been my best game week, so I'm really
Nice.
happy. Really happy.
We've got a £90 million zombie team, if anyone doesn't know. So we can't make any transfers, we can only spend 90 million. That's why Andy's third bottom. You should still listen to him. It just.
Yeah, I
we have our
mean, I messed up my team. Yeah, messed up my team, but I mean, I was annoyed that Jerry Taggart didn't come off the bench for me this week. So,
Yeah.
but I'll take the Biscan 10 points.
Yeah, I've got
Just
this scan too, so. I'll
Yeah,
take that.
5 million well spent.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi FPL coach, nice to see you. Yeah, guys, just I mean, to put in the chat. I mean, what was your highs and lows for this game week? We'll have a quick look at the game in a second. You see the league table coming up.
I'm going to get up my own team quickly, Andy, just to share it as people share their highs and lows. Michael Devlin says, "What's the forfeit for coming last amongst you guys?" That is a great question, Michael. I think we need to think about that because it's definitely not going to be me by the looks of it. So.
I'll tell you what, if I'm bottom, then I'll do something. Yeah, Dave and James can mention something to me. Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
if you've got any suggestions of what the forfeit for the bottom person can be, then I would love to hear it because Andy loves a forfeit. This is my team.
Robin Wells in the chat.
This is my zombie team. Let's see where I am. I'm
Shearer
in the top
captaincy.
1K. Let me have a look. Sorry, I'll let you talk to the chat. I'm going to check my rank.
No, Robin Wells just saying Shearer captaincy blank. So I'd still keep Shearer. Good fixtures coming up.
Yeah.
Although the Spurs lads are maybe the ones to jump on if you're getting a bit itchy.
I mean, Spurs have had a couple of good game weeks now. I think they're going to get popular.
Oh, indeed, definitely. Talk about that in a bit.
I'm at 943 overall rank. Michael Devlin's saying he's dropped from 13 to 22nd. That is still pretty good going.
Still great going.
The high was definitely captaining Henri as Angus. Yeah, that was pretty gutting.
Oh, cheers, Dick Wellington, about my beard growth. Yeah, cheers for that.
Yeah, nice.
Obviously, can't get to the barbers and trim it, but
It is pretty impressive, to be fair. I didn't even think about that, but that is good going.
not as impressive as yours yet. But I'll catch you up, Dave. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a pretty quick growing beard as well. Competition. Right, should we? What have we got tonight, Andy, on the stream?
Yeah, so guys, pretty much similar to what we've been going through. So tonight we'll go through Game Week 6 review, have a look at some teams. We'll also put in some commentary about a few games as well. I know Luke Disable was saying, can we have a look at some commentary? So I'll have a look at a few commentaries when we review Game Week 6. Briefly, we'll touch on some spreadsheet errors, just briefly on that. We've also got a European roundup. So we've got Champions League and UEFA Cup that have taken place already ahead of Game Week 7. We've got the League Cup draw, so the third round. And again, with European and League Cup, these can affect fixtures later down the line, so affecting doubles and blanks and stuff. So it's good to keep an eye on those. We're going to go through the league and player stats, have a look at that and what's kind of average rating, and people having shots and stuff like that. My Rennie watch will be back. I want to know where Rennie was in Game Week 6, Dave, if you can have a look at that. And then we'll just do club by club, go through some injuries, which, breaking news, there's a lot of injuries happened. Club by club, and then questions and answers and anything else. So
yeah, and we've got quite a lot of cues from Twitter this week as well that people have asked in advance. So
yeah, thanks for doing that as well, guys. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, that's really helpful for us because it gives us a chance to think about it and sort them out. But we will do them in the club by club mostly, and then if we don't address them in club by club, we'll do them at the end.
Cool, that's fine. Yeah, do you want to get cracking with the game week? So do you want to start with the early kickoff, or do you want to go alphabetical order like we did?
We'll go early kickoff first. So 0-0 in the West Ham Arsenal match. And if there's any questions that you've got about these games, like there has been some asking about set pieces. If there's games where you want us to get the commentary up, we can do that, but just ask when we're in there. So West Ham 0, Arsenal 0. The big thing I thought was that Arsenal basically had just one shot on target out of 9. Still a fairly even game, even though they had 10 men.
Although it was looking pretty good until that red card.
Yeah. I think with no red card, I don't think Henry goes off, and I think they go on probably to win it. They definitely had chances in the first half. So,
interesting one for me there is Repka.
Yeah, he's been doing well, Thomas Repka. Yeah,
he's picking up the points, and he does pick if he doesn't get booked, which often happens. If he avoids booking, he often does pick up bonus points and can score quite high ratings, I've noticed. So. Yeah,
Repka's been good. 7.5 average rating is strong, so he's been
good tackles.
But I don't fancy West Ham as a team in general, so I would personally avoid. Although for 4.5, he's not a bad option. He's totally nailed, so I probably wouldn't go anywhere else. So that was the lunchtime game, and then I'll just go through the rest in alphabetical order, apart from the tea time. So Blackburn 2, Middlesbrough 3. See, Middlesbrough actually weren't on top in this game, but they managed to win it. So you can see here Boksic getting a couple of goals, Paul Ince also scoring a goal and getting an assist. Alan Johnston was someone who I missed in the commentary, but he also got an assist in that game. I just left it off of the commentary by mistake. So they're doing really well, Middlesbrough.
They are doing really well. There's plenty of good players in Middlesbrough that are decent.
Yeah.
I mean, Gordon's still ticking over. He got an assist. Alan Johnston's, very good pick as well. Boksic.
Great pick. People have been asked about Boksic. I think Boksic is a really good choice. I mean, it's not exactly under the radar now. 4 goals in 3 games, 7 million. Can't really go wrong with him, I don't think. He looks like a really good pick. He's their main man.
Very good price.
Yeah. So Ian Pearce has joined them this last game week, and he is a 4.5 million defender. So if he nails down his proof, if he nails down his position, then he'll do really well.
Billy Hadaway, says, is he fixture proof, Boksic? I would say he is.
I think so. For £7 million, I think he'll score goals. What have they got? They've got Derby, Arsenal, Liverpool away, Spurs, Fulham away, Sunderland, Bolton. I don't think that's a terrible run of fixtures. Arsenal and Liverpool there in 3 and 4 weeks' time in 2 and 3 weeks' time is a bit tricky. So you could wait till after that, but I personally think, coach.
Yeah, I mean,
Coach Boxy, he's better than Grabby, I think.
Yeah, the only thing with Boksic is his age and injury proneness. He's someone that could condition be low sometimes.
Yeah, he could easily be falling off there.
A lot of bookings in that game. Who was the ref in that game?
It wasn't Uriah Rennie. No Uriah Rennie in these
games,
I'm afraid.
Was it?
Was the ref
still been left out. Oh, fine, okay.
No Rennie this week, I'm afraid. That's the end of the watch for this week. He wasn't there.
Tune in next week to see if Rennie refs another game. Yeah.
Andy North is asking about Boksic's condition. We'll do condition when we go through club by club at the end, so just to make it a bit smoother and quicker. Newcastle 1-1 with Charlton here. Newcastle well on top despite having 10 men for half an hour, and really should have won that game. Craig Bellamy with the goal. Roberto Solana got the assist and man of the match. Obviously a lot of people disappointed with Shearer in this one, but he should be fine. I wouldn't worry if you've got Shearer, he's going to score goals, no problem. So I think absolutely no problem. Ewell getting an 8 and picking up some bonus, Bartlett as well. I think those Charlton boys are still looking good as well.
I would still hold Ewell. I said it last week as well.
Yeah.
Ewell is the man that's going to not lose his place. He's pretty good with injuries, doesn't really get injured that much, and he'll just keep ticking over. I think on this sim already he started well.
Yeah.
Confidence is okay. Yeah. Pretty good.
Danny Shittu, probably the 4.0 defender of choice along with Staunton. He's going under the radar, but he is a good choice. If you've got a 4.0 that's currently nailed. He might get dropped at some point, but Leeds versus Ipswich. 2-1 to Leeds. And not huge amounts to report here. Herman Ryder's the man of the match, but Viduka, Kewell, Hart all getting returns. Wasn't a brilliant game, but Leeds deserved to win it.
Leeds again, back on top of the league.
Yeah.
Good to see.
Let's just to add as well, guys. We're skimming over it a bit more than we did the first week because all of these screenshots are available now at Whitebeard's website. So if you go to Whitebeard FPL, he has all of these screenshots available to you. So Leicester 2, Chelsea 1. Leicester slightly on top in this game, Chelsea slightly on top, but Leicester get the win here. So disappointing for Hasselbank. Johnson's injured at the moment. Zola got an assist. Not a huge amount to report on this game, I feel like, to be honest.
No, I mean, no subs is a strange one for Chelsea.
Yeah, but I mean, who can predict?
I mean, that's a pretty much
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much their strongest team. I think Johnson's out, but there's no real. There wasn't real any shocks this game week, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. Liverpool 3-0 against Villa, a comfortable, easy win there. They basically, in the commentary, they took their foot off the pedal, but after about half an hour, so they went to just containing and they walked it absolutely easy. So the big thing is like Reece has got an injury. We might as well have a quick look at that now. So Reece is out for 2 weeks with a damaged foot. And Smeetser is a big one. So Smeetser is out for 3 months with a torn groin muscle. Now, Smeetser's not in very many teams, but that's a pretty severe injury. So, to me, Smeetser does open up some other options in that squad. Danny Murphy, in particular, I think, could be someone that's worth thinking about.
Do you think Reece would go to left mid?
Well, Reece is injured for 2 weeks as well.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So Reece could go to left mid with Barnby coming right, but I would suggest they've not got a lot in their squad, to be honest. So you can see there's also an injury for Honcho as we're here. He got injured in the Champions League game. We'll come to that, but he's out for 3 weeks. But they've not got a lot of options in midfield now, to be honest. They're really out wide. It's Barnby and Murphy, and that's about it. So I think that they're well worth a potential pick.
To be honest as well, I've just seen another name that is decent on this game, Richie Partridge. I mean, he is priced in our game as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very cheap, isn't he? He's either 4.5 or 5, but I really don't see him. He's good. He's a good player, but I don't think he's going to get the game time to justify picking him. I certainly wouldn't go for him now. Would you?
No, I wouldn't go for him now. But if he gets the game, he's a good player to get good average rating and maybe nail down that starting spot. So
yeah, definitely.
But wait and see for Liverpool. I think with those injuries, it's not great.
Yeah, for sure. So injuries. Honcho for 3 weeks, Smeetser for 3 months. So we'll keep going through the games. We'll go into more depth in the squad by squad. But Man United 1, Sunderland 1. A really even game here. Oh, Man United is slightly on top, but it's pretty impressive result for Sunderland considering they've been absolutely terrible all season long. Doesn't really change my mind on Sunderland. I don't think that he's. I wouldn't pick anyone from Sunderland personally at the moment. Would you?
No, I mean Arca's in my zombie team. I really like him as a player.
Yeah.
He did get a bonus point, didn't he, in this one?
Yeah, he did.
Gary Teal, and the fixtures aren't too bad.
I think Gary Teal will be a good buy at 6.5. He's another, but realistically, no one's going to be buying these sorts of guys till Sunderland's form picks up. So I think
Burnt Haas. I mean, do you switch Staunton to Burnt Haas if you've got nothing else to do?
I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't do that either. I think if you've got Staunton, I'd stick with. I think he'll probably come back in. He's been good enough that I think you wait a week. Man United, obviously, Van Nistelrooy with the assist for them. Not too much to report for Ron. Got an 8. He obviously did pretty well. I think that's because he played 4 key passes there, which is probably setting up chances, creating opportunities. I think most people are jumping off for Ron now, but I think he still could at any moment explode. But I understand why people are selling. He's the captain of my zombie team, so he is absolutely pulling my zombie team down, to be honest, because he's getting no returns. But
which I'm glad about.
He could explode at any moment. So, right, let's go to the Sunday fixtures, which were Derby, Everton, 1-1. We won't spend long here because no one's really got these players. But,
although Valakyrie's going under the radar, as you mentioned on commentary.
So, 15 shots for Derby there, absolutely dominating. And Everton, just the 5 shots. Valakari with 10 out of 10. Riggett I like as a 4.5 pick. I think he's a good option. Goal threat. I think is that his first of the season? It's his first of the season, but he does get goals. And then Derby, that's the 3 shots there, all on target for Riggett. I mean, that's pretty impressive stuff. Darryl Powell also getting involved. Craig Burley with a couple of shots, a couple of key passes. I mean, there's a lot of players that are doing stuff. I think there's some good budget options at Derby.
Yeah, I think Everton as well avoid. I mean, every game they seem to be getting something out of it, but they're performing awful.
Yeah.
Really badly. I don't know how they drew that game, really.
Yeah, I don't know either. They're very lucky, I think. Spurs smashing it with goals, as we expected them. Dominated this game, deserved to win. Again, they took their foot off the pedal a bit. Christian Ziege going off injured. Let's have a look at Christian Ziege. Christian Ziege is out for 2 weeks with an twisted ankle. So he's got 3 assists in 5 games. But yeah, he's out for 2 weeks. So Ben Thatcher will come in for the next couple of games. Sergei Rebrov got a couple of assists. Where are we? Yeah, 2 assists for Rebrov and 1 for Everson. And anything notable in the key involvement there? So Chris Perry, Goran Bunjevic, they're getting key tackles. It's pretty spread around though, as you can see. They're getting quite a lot of different, couple of key headers there for Bunjevic as well. So
yeah,
with the whole team.
With the home games that Tottenham got, do you think they'll still play the wing backs and play Thatcher at wing back or not? Do you think they'll maybe switch it up?
Yeah, I think they'll probably stick with the same formation. They seem pretty rigid to that. So, again, from listening to Luke as well, he seems to suggest, Luke Disable, that basically that's their way they play. A few people asking about, can we show where Armstrong, when Armstrong came on 46, where did he play? Basically, the game doesn't show us mid-game changes, so the best we can make is an educated guess. We had a very brief chat about it before the stream. Basically, Everson and Armstrong, I'm pretty sure Everson is a striker, so yeah, Everson and Armstrong have to play striker, so those two would have been playing up top. Now my guess would be that you've then got Rebrov, Sheringham, who are forwards, and Salakovic, who's an attacking midfield, so I guess probably one of Sheringham or Rebrov would have dropped into central midfield, into one of these positions, because forwards can occasionally play midfield like Bergkamp did. In one of the games, so maybe Sheringham into midfield, and maybe Rebrov in the hole would be my guess.
So I think because with Salakovic and Rebrov, they're attacking right centres, aren't they? Yeah, so maybe one of them could have gone wing back where Anderson was.
So my guess would be that Salakovic went to wing back. I see Luke saying that Spurs do change formation sometimes to 4-4-2, which is possible if they're playing 4-4-2, but I personally can't see that because they had 3 centre-backs on, as well as Thatcher, who plays left-back. So they'd have to play a centre-back out of position. And then they would have had to play Sheringham and Rebrov in midfield. So I think probably Salakovic to wing-back and one of those guys into midfield. But I can't say for sure. We can't say for sure, but...
I mean, to have those strikers on the pitch and then put Armstrong and Ferdinand on the bench, you're asking for trouble, really.
Yeah.
They could use that spot more wisely.
Yeah, I see Luke saying Rebrov plays 10, Salakovic right wing back. I would agree with that. Salakovic right wing back and Sheringham into central midfield probably. But yeah, Spurs doing well. And then the evening game was the Monday night game, and that was Fulham 3, Bolton 0. The return of Stolzers. So his first return to the season. He was quite a popular pre-season pick. Oh, he has, yeah. This is his first goal of the season. John Collins also getting a goal, Marley getting a goal, nothing for Boamorte. And Fulham did...
Can we look at commentary on this one? Can we look at commentary on this one as well?
Yeah, people set pieces, weren't they? So...
I know Collins took quite a bit.
Yeah. So free kick to Bolton was taken by Bruno and Gotti. Collins looked to send a hanging ball over from the corner. John Collins on the corner. So that was the question, wasn't it? Collins or Stokes is on corners was what people wanted to know. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, looking at that commentary, Collins is involved a lot.
Collins was involved. Sahar, when he came on, was absolutely everywhere on the commentary.
And that's going to be interesting with the injury to Malbronk as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Malbronk's out now. So that opens up the midfield spot because there's been a bit of rotation. But yeah, basically John Collins on corners, it looks like the whole game. Simon Charlton on corners for Bolton. Can't see.
Dave, do you think Boamorte would drop into midfield now with Malbronk out and Zaha getting game time, or is it still wait and see to see if Zaha...
He could do. I mean, Zaha can play in midfield as well because he's a forward. They sometimes do put him out on the wing. So I think that... I mean, again, I think in terms of likely starting lineups, I think Luke's the man. But let's have a look through. They've got Legwinski, Collins, Stolzers, then they've got Sean Davis, who's played a little bit. Let's see if they've got anyone else in that squad who can play. Goldbeck plays a little bit. Yeah, I would suggest that maybe Belmonte would move back into midfield, but I don't think he's still a bad pick. 4 goals in 5 league games, 2 assists. I know that's been playing up front, but still think that he's not a bad pick at that price, 8.5 million. I think he's a decent pick. I think Collins and Stolz also now look nailed, so could go for them as mid-price. Fulham's fixtures, not bad, not great. Tottenham away, there's goals in that because Tottenham can't defend. Leeds at home is okay because it's a home game. Villa at home is a great fixture. Everton away is a good one. Borough, those are okay fixtures.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, and they've not been conceding tons either. The clean sheet there, 2 conceded to Man United, obviously that's Man United. So, but clean sheet there, 1 conceded there, and a clean sheet there. So, I think some of the defenders could be worth thinking about. John Harley is 5 million. I think he's got good attacking potential. I think he could be a cheeky differential. If you're looking for a not budget defender, but someone who's a bit different, he can score. He could go into midfield as another possibility.
Yeah.
They could push Harley.
Any John Harley owners in the chat because he went off on 58, didn't he?
He did go off early on this game. Yeah. I don't think hardly anyone owns him. Anyone own John Harley here? But that's a quick run through of the fixtures anyway. So gives you a bit of a flavour. All of the screenshots. If you want to go into more detail, Whitebeard FPL, which is linked to on your sheets, and obviously you can find it on Twitter. I think go to Whitebeard FPL, dig into those statistics, put out there on Twitter, share it with the community, get your insights out of that because there's definitely some stuff to be got out of those screenshots for sure.
Definitely. Okay, cool. Dave, do you want to go through just a couple of things on the spreadsheet that people have had issues with this week? Just quickly.
Yeah, so a couple of really quick things. So one is that there can be a bit of a discrepancy between what people see on the summary tab and what they see in the league table. I'm not going to reload my sheet now because it will crash the stream. But basically, if you have a different number of points in your summary to your league table, don't worry about it. All it means is that if we've made a mistake and made an error while we're doing uploading the points, which does happen, then it gets updated in the league table so that the league table is correct, but your summary tab will show a different number because that's a lot longer and more complicated process to go into every individual sheet and update it, whereas the league table, that has everything correct. So that's the main thing to tell you, so don't worry if you see a points discrepancy there. If you see an individual player on your points list that's got the wrong number of points, give us a shout. That does happen occasionally. Like I missed a couple of data entry points this week when I was doing it, so just let us know. And the only other thing I was going to say is that basically the game week, James emailed us earlier to say that he was hoping to have everyone's sheets ready for the next game week tonight. So hopefully everyone's sheets should be ready to go by tonight or certainly by tomorrow morning, so that you can get ready to select for game week 7 on Wednesday.
Yeah, guys, should be soon to get game week 7 sorted. So yeah, look out for the sheets. Just wait till tomorrow morning; they should be there, I reckon.
Yeah, nice. And we're still working through some new entries from a week or two ago. Because we never got through all of those, so some of those people have already been integrated, but the people that have been patiently waiting for a week or more, hopefully we're going to get sort of somewhere between 100 and 300 new players in using the sheets that haven't been used so far. That's it for spreadsheet. That's all I got. Keep it brief.
Cool. Nice one. Yeah, that's good. Right, back to the action. To have a look at the do you want to go to Champions League fixtures?
Yeah, sure.
See how the club's got on.
Sure. So
it's game week 3, isn't it now?
Yeah, match week 3 of the Champions League. So we've had another set of games. Lazio beating Lyon 8-0 there. Springs catches the eye straight away.
Let's have a quick look at the 8-0. Crespo.
4 goals for Crespo.
4 goals, okay.
2 for ex-Sheffield Wednesday striker Kovacevic. And Stankovic and Fiore.
Gregory Coupe with a nightmare there.
So, Arsenal. So, just so someone's asked in the chat what leagues we're running, I'm just running the English league. That is it. So, Arsenal beat Copenhagen 1-0 with a goal from Thierry Henry, who is beginning to really cement himself as a bit of a troll in this game, I think. And the assist came from Freddie Ljungberg, who also got man of the match. So, Henry with 7 shots in that game, really involved, right in the thick of it. So, yeah, decent result for Arsenal. And that leaves them, I think, in a really strong position to qualify. 6 points, they should be fine. Spartak Moscow and Copenhagen.
Yeah, Copenhagen at home next. Easy, that's fine. Yeah.
Just say Andy North. Is that all the injuries? No, there will be more injuries. So be ready.
We'll do that by club later on.
So, get back. So that was that match day, and then match day before that, Sparta Prague beating Leverkusen in Germany. But we care about
Liverpool lost again.
Liverpool lost
in
again.
Europe.
So that's 3 defeats on the bounce. Now, the reason this is significant is because when we get to game week 14, is it 14, 13? When Liverpool's
13.
Liverpool's first double game week. Basically, if Liverpool finished first, second, or third in the Champions League group, that double game will be postponed because they'll have European commitments. But obviously, if they finish bottom of the group, that game week maintains. And at the moment, they are set to finish bottom of the group. So Heskey subbed on 48 for Litmanen. You can see the sort of start. Biscan starting at right back. That's a bit of a mini headline, I would have said. Risa is obviously injured. He's also not in the European squad. In terms of talking about the midfield, they have got Murphy brought in, but he's come off on 48, which maybe isn't a great sign. Gerrard, I imagine, will be pretty nailed now that Smeets is out. They're running low midfielders. But yeah, so there we go. So consolation goal for Robbie Fowler, and the assist was from Jari Litmanen, who is that a 3-5-2? That was a 4-4-2 they played in that game. And Man United cruising to another win, 2-0 against Lokomotiv Moscow. Goals from Beckham and York. Assists from Beckham again and Giggs. Beckham having a great season so far. Now in all competitions, that's 10 appearances, 3 goals, 7 assists. So that is pretty great returns, I would have said. Luke Chadwick getting another run out as well is quite interesting.
Good neighbour, Luke Chadwick. He's getting game time.
Yeah. And we've got Scholes playing instead of Keane, who got injured in the league match. We'll have a look at that. Late Risers asking who will replace Ancho for Liverpool. Well, in that game, he came off injured, didn't he? So I imagine it'll be Risa, Hegem, Huppier, and I guess will it be Carragher?
Yeah, I mean Biscan can play centre back. Carragher can go centre back.
Yeah, Biscan looks like he could play right back as well. I wouldn't imagine he'd go centre back, but you never know. People are surprised if Ron didn't play for Man United. I would say that's not necessarily a terrible sign. They're going to rotate players. Sort of through these.
Can you just have a look at the Liverpool group, how it stands at the moment?
Yeah, they're bottom with 0 points, aren't they?
Yeah.
1 point. Sorry, they did pick up a point against Real Madrid. So, if they win their next 3, then they'll get through, and if they win 2, they'll probably qualify for UEFA Cup. So, yeah.
The next game's pretty big.
Yeah, definitely. UEFA Cup.
And Man U are just cruising, aren't they, as well, in their group? 9 points.
Man United have 9 points. They're going through. There's no question there. They've got an easy group as well. So, UEFA Cup second leg. There was some interesting results here. Newcastle in Luxembourg. In the UEFA Cup as well, there tends to be even more rotation. So, Alan Shearer with a goal and a man of the match performance, with the assist not being no assists. So, again, not loads to report there. Warren Barton starts at right back again. That's a pretty standard team there, not too many changes for Newcastle. Right, let's spot the English team as the game.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea got a great result in Berlin. They lost the first leg, or drew the first leg at home over 1-1, and they have just won 4-0 in Berlin. Goals for Zola. Forsell starting up front in the absence of Johnson. And Petit and Stanic scored. Not a penalty.
They've gone pretty strong with that as well. The full lineup of what I can see.
Another strong team there. Melchior as centre back with Stanic and Babiar at wing back there. So Melchior dropping in at centre half with Desai missing out actually. I think Desai got sent off in the first leg, so he was suspended for that. So that's probably why Melchior is coming into centre half there. And assist wise in that game, we've got assists for Lampard, assist for Zola, and assist for Hasselbank. So that's a goal and assist performance for Zola there. Lots of love for Stanic as well. Obviously in the actual game that would have been a 10-point haul, I think. So pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Desai suspended for that game, so not rested.
Okay.
Let's have a look.
I know Leeds were in Freiburg. There we go. Yeah.
They've made it through, Andy. Party
Safely
time
through.
for Leeds.
Tough draw.
Yeah.
Glad to get through that.
That is a tough draw. Willie with the man of the match. and Keane and Viduka each scoring the goals for Leeds. Assists for Keane and Viduka. So great performance for Keane and Viduka at the front there. Leeds playing in a 4-4-2. Alan Mabry starting on the right wing again. He's a bold pick if you go for him, but 4.5 million defender. He could pay off if he plays. Might get the odd 1 pointer, but could be worth a punt. Alan Smith obviously started a league game for Leeds recently, but it looks like that was just a bit of rotation. So 2-2 for Leeds, and Ipswich is the other team, and they were playing Tilligal.
Newcastle there as well. Sorry, you did Newcastle.
Yeah. So Ipswich win 1-0 in Tilligal. Marcus Stewart with the goal. And the assist is for Mauricio Taricco. Very popular pick at the moment, Taricco. Widely tipped. I know that Luke loves him, and I think a lot of people are jumping on that bandwagon. So
I actually looked at some Ipswich stats, like from Sims I did.
yeah.
I mean, Taricco, yeah, great stand-up pick, but I think Herman Haridason is going under the radar a bit. Same price as Taricco.
Yeah.
And from the Sims I did, he actually slightly did better on average rating. And also for goals as well. I think he scored more than Taricco. I know Taricco gets the assists quite a bit more. I think on average Taricco gets maybe 8 assists a season. But in terms of goals, Haridason normally gets double the goals Taricco gets. So
yeah, nice. I think that's a good shout.
Higher average rating.
2 man of the matches in 5 league appearances as well for Haridason. So he's bringing in the bonus as well. I think you could probably make the case, I guess, for a double up for those two, 4.5 million each. Would you go for a double up there?
If I was doing on the bench, like if I was picking maybe one from Leeds, one from Arsenal, one from United, and then the 2 Ipswich guys, Taricco and Haridason on the bench.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't feel bad about playing 2 Ipswich defenders when you got Blackburn at home, West Ham at home, Sunderland away. Maybe just play one of them. Bolton at home. I would double up on 3 out of 4 of those quite happily, personally. Could be a differential move. Fulham at home as well after Tottenham. So that could be a bit of a differential move. If you want to go bold and you want to double up, I'm a big, in FPL, like one of my strategies is always to, if you see an opportunity, double up. Because, for instance, with Taricco now, he's becoming such a popular pick that if you've just got Taricco, you're getting the same points as everyone else. So if you really want to benefit off this Ipswich fixture run, maybe double up, save your budget and put some money elsewhere.
So would you say maybe Serini as well as an option?
Yeah,
maybe Taricco and Serini, or
one of the things about Serini is he doesn't seem to make many saves. Like some of the teams seem to get loads of save points. Serini is not getting loads of save points. So I would be more tempted to go with teams that are getting the save points at the moment, personally. Because he's in my zombie team. He's doing okay, but I'd rather go for Haridason and Taricco. I think they've got the upside of bonus and their tackle returns. So stream. So I'm going to have a little look. Reconnection successful. I think we might have lost the stream for a minute there.
Oh,
let's have a little look. Guys, are we still here? Can you still hear us? Let's see. I think we might have lost the stream there. So I think we're probably live again now, is my guess. Let's have a little look on YouTube.
Yeah, we're still good.
We're still good?
Still good, apparently.
Oh, you didn't lose us. My computer.
Only for a second. Only for a second.
Cool. Great. Okay. Sorry, guys. We're new to this, so we're learning as we go. Thanks for that. Thanks for the reassurance. We're here. That's good. Should we move on to the next bit, mate? I mean, the lesson of that is double up on your Ipswich defenders.
Yeah, pretty much.
What have we got next? Should we look at the League Cup draw?
I was going to say, is there any UEFA Cup? Is the draw being made for UEFA Cup next round?
So we have Hibs versus Leeds.
Oh, all English, all British affair. Nice.
Yeah.
Good to see that.
Easy for Leeds, I would think.
Get a flight up to Edinburgh.
Yeah. Sound has gone weird. I've got an echo. That might be my mic. Let me have a little look.
Keep speaking, Dave.
Okay, let me see. How's that, guys? You just tell me if you can hear me. So let's have a little look. I'm going to keep talking and you can tell me if the echo goes or not, because it can be to do with the mic, I think. So hopefully, if I keep talking, you can tell me whether I'm echoing or not. Am I still echoing? If I just keep talking, then eventually someone will tell me if I'm echoing or not. Let's see. I mean, I should say, I'm running this stream on a laptop. I still echo. Ooh. Right, let me figure it out. I'm going to disconnect my mic, I'm going to put it back in.
That's always the best thing to do, just turn it on and off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with that.
Right.
That Newcastle draw, I've never heard of that team.
Is that?
Wyverdon.
I saw that Yverdon. Don't worry, just a tunnel. Nice. Let's have another look. So, if I keep trying to do all the things I know, if anyone else has got any little tricks, then I'm happy for them to go for it for me.
Better, fine now. Beautiful, great, lovely.
Lovely.
Works perfect, all sorted.
Great, look at all these compliments you're getting now, much better. I feel like it gives the stream a nice earthy vibe. Right, let's crack on. So, thanks everyone. My voice never sounded so good. Brad Lewington, yes. Right, Hibs Leeds. Newcastle against Yverdon of Switzerland. Porto Chelsea, that's a big one. So, that could be tricky for them. Porto, I thought it might be Mourinho, but it's obviously before Mourinho.
Decent side actually.
Porto. Yeah. Got Deco, nice little team there. And Ipswich against Torpedo Moscow, that could be a tricky one. No one wants to go to Russia, and they've got Sherko. He was great on one of the previous ChampMans. So there's the European ties. We'll have a quick look at the League Cup as well, shall we?
Yeah, go for League Cup.
League Cup fixtures.
The League Cup draw.
So third round tie. We'll rattle through it because it won't immediately impact, but I think once we get to the fourth round, that will start to have a bit of an impact on fixtures. More on rearranged fixtures than on the existing fixture list. But we've got Fulham against Barnsley, so you think Fulham are going to go through there. Southampton, Man United. Middlesbrough, Burnley. Ipswich, Bradford. Derby face Spurs in an all-Premier League tie there. Liverpool at home to Cheltenham, nice tie for them. Charlton against Newcastle. Arsenal at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield United, not for the Prem, are at home to Everton. Aston Villa and West Ham play each other. Leeds at home to QPR and Leicester against Chelsea. So
I think the main thing from the League Cup is that if the European clubs get through in Europe and the League Cup, that's when it comes quite messy. Midweek fixtures, isn't it? So that's to keep the eye out on those in Europe and those in the League Cup, because that's when doubles can occur quite easily.
Yeah. With
League Cup getting arranged and blanks and stuff. So.
Just laughing because someone said, Andy North says, who's the player on the background on your desktop? It is. Oh, this is how bad the computer is. That's how long it takes to load a photo. Steve Simonson. So that's from tweets. Just good to get that up. Right, so let's look as well, just very quickly, we'll look at the upcoming Premier League fixtures this weekend for the next round. So this is for game week 7. So game week 7, we've got 5 fixtures on the Saturday. We've got Bolton, Sunderland, Man United against Liverpool is the big game, Middlesbrough derby, Southampton against Arsenal, Spurs against Fulham. So those are all taking place on Saturday.
Dave, I think we do Man U Liverpool at 5:30, I reckon. Oh no, actually we're doing a Sunday game.
This is going to be this Wednesday. So these will be all
at
8
Wednesday,
o'clock on Wednesday.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
And then Sunday we've got Villa Leeds, Chelsea West Ham, Everton Charlton, Ipswich Blackburn and Newcastle against Leicester. So we've got those will all be Wednesday 8 o'clock, but basically that's so you can see when we look at club by club you can see the condition, because for instance Chelsea there, the UEFA Cup sides have got an extra day to rest really is the bottom line there, as well as Everton and Charlton. But none of the Champions League sides have got the extra day.
And then do you want to go ahead to game week 8 as well?
Yeah, so game week 8 follows in game. So we've got game week 7 concludes on the Sunday 30th September. Game week 8 is on Wednesday the 3rd of October. So it's a very quick turnaround and all those games kick off at the same time. So Planet FPL, and they're live on Planet FPL. Good point, James. Thanks. Yeah, tune into James's stream for these. Looks like a good bunch of fixtures there, including Man United, Liverpool. So Wednesday the 3rd of October, in game. This will be next Saturday. So we'll give you guys the choice of one of these matches, and we'll pick one. Usually we just go with whatever the Monday night game is for the tea time kickoff, but we'll get to choose here as well. So we'll choose one, and you guys can choose one. And then I believe. So the next game is then 10 days after that. So there's an international break after this. So we've got game week 7 this Wednesday. Game week 8 is on Saturday. And then in game there's an international break. But obviously we'll just sim straight past that. And once the international break has passed, so once we're heading into game week 9, we'll have a much clearer picture about double game weeks, about fixtures moving forwards, because that has a real impact on the fixture list moving forward. But we'll tackle that nearer the time. sure Ben Krellin2 on Twitter will also be looking at that.
Definitely will be, yeah. While you're on that tab as well, just have a quick look at team and player stats, perhaps.
Sure. Quick overview on team and player stats. Anything in particular there, Andy, you want us to talk about?
Again, goals from corners and indirect free kicks. Indirect free kicks, I think, is quite interesting if teams are getting goals from that.
So you can see that Chelsea, Leeds, Man United and Newcastle leading the way in goals from corners. Goals from indirect free kicks, all they mean by that is goals from free kicks that aren't like just shot into the net. So if someone crosses it and someone scores, that counts as indirect free kick here. So Charlton are the only team to have scored more than one from those. Direct free kicks, no one has scored a free kick yet. 6 weeks into the season.
Penalties as well. How many penalties we had so far?
Not very many. 2 for Blackburn and Craig Hignett. 1 for Chelsea, Petit. Liverpool one was Littmanen, and Ian Hart obviously game week 1 missing his. So, and then goal scorers wise, I mean, interesting. So Henry obviously getting a lot of hate at the weekend for coming off on 49 minutes, but he is the top performing player in the game at the moment on 8.4 average. So Van Nistelrooy just behind him. Interesting names behind there. Solano obviously is a popular pick. I think a really good pick. But then Morte a popular pick. But then Lauren, Gomar, Alan Boxic, Matt Elliott really is hoovering up bonus as well.
Under the radar, Matt Elliott, isn't he?
Yeah, Matt Elliott is a potential good pick. 5 million is not cheap, but yeah. And Ewan Heskey, I mean Emil Heskey, 4 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, and a man of the match. I mean, I think he's a decent pick at his price as well, but no one seems to have him. But I think he could well be worth a look sooner rather than later. Right, are we on to club by club, or is there some other bits that we need to do before we get there, Andy?
No, I think that's good. We can go club by club and look at stuff. There's quite a few injuries to go through, so let's get on cracking with that.
Cool.
If anyone's got any questions, they want to see anyone in particular, just put that in the chat.
Yeah.
As well.
People asking about the patch, that's maybe why there's no free kicks. Basically, we could upgrade the patch, but we don't want to cause any stability issues. So sometimes upgrading the patch can cause a few issues. So we're going to stick with this patch, and it's the same quirks for everyone, isn't it? So, all right, let's go club by club. We'll go through the injuries, any other news as it occurs. I think we've got a low grade signing for you.
Some big. No. Let's try and big it up.
There's a massive signing, and it's going to be soon.
It's not like last week at all.
No, it's not Salakovic. Right, Arsenal, club by club. So, we've got Tony Adams still not quite back to fitness, so he's still got a few days to go. So this is the day of the game, just to say. We have got a lot of backups, Robbery, don't worry about that. So, Tony Adams is injured. And there's nothing else particularly there noteworthy in terms of news for Arsenal, I don't think. We'll have a quick look at the selection stats. So that will give us the condition of the players heading into the game. So Perez 91%, Henry 93%. That could potentially leave them vulnerable to being subbed a little bit more. Morale-wise, down the bottom there, Keown is having a terrible season. It's just okay, but no one's really problematic. The big players are all flying on superb form, so that's all good.
How long till Tony Adams is back? Was it?
A few days. So he's 84%, so he probably almost certainly won't play this Saturday. So Aston Villa, condition isn't probably going to be a problem there. Enkelman's on 88%. I'm not sure why that is. He may have played in the reserve game for them, as well as the first team. Morale-wise, sort of. Oh, Staunton, someone's asked, that's a good question. Steve Staunton is... Where is he? He's got very good morale still, so I don't think you need to worry about Steve Staunton for now.
He's had a good rest at Butlins.
He's been to Butlins at Minehead. He is genuinely happy. Do you know what? When that first picture went up, I thought that was a real picture. Is it a real picture? Or is it a Photoshop? The second one was definitely a Photoshop.
Which one? The one where he's standing...
The one where he's standing outside the entrance to Butlins.
Yeah, it's good. Very good.
Yeah, that was a very, very good... if you missed it, so Rob Pick, CM Scout FPL on Twitter, we give him a little team leak, or someone gives him a little team leak every now and then, and he did a press conference with John Gregory about, and He really led people along. It was lovely. Gave me some nice entertainment on Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
More
of that Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. Blackburn. Nothing to report on the morale front. We'll have a quick look at the top here. Loads of players on superb morale at Blackburn. Corrado Grabby doesn't look like he's one of those players on superb morale. He is on good morale, but that's probably because he's unhappy about living in England, Blackburn specifically. And player conditioning looks absolutely fine there across the board as well. So someone's asked about Two-Guy. He's having a great season, Two-Guy. He got 4 assists in his first 4, nothing in the last couple. But for me, Two-Guy is the sort of pick where I personally wouldn't jump on and off him for fixtures because he's not explosive. But I would, players like Two-Guy and Alan Johnston, 7 million, quite dull, but just put them in your team and keep them in midfield. I think they're really great options. Just they'll be consistent. They'll give you an assist every other game, or they'll give you 3 assists in a row and then nothing for 3 weeks. But if you just stick with them, those players can really get the points.
Yeah, and the guys at around 7 million are priced for that reason because they're consistent.
Yeah.
If you go for like the 5.5s or 5 million midfielders, you're just going to be changing it every week, and then you're using transfers, using hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, sticking with it is good.
Yeah, I mean another one that's an interesting one is Craig Hignett. He's on penalties, 2 goals from penalties already. I think that Craig Hignett is, if he can nail down a place, he's a good pick. Bolton Wanderers. So, I haven't been keeping an eye on injuries actually. I better just check there's been no injuries in those clubs to tell you about.
I just had a quick look. I don't think there was. I know Duff was returned to fitness.
Duff is back, yeah.
For Blackburn.
Bolton Wanderers then.
Just having a quick look as well.
So just while Andy's looking for that, Bolton Wanderers, Simon Charlton is on 89% condition, so he's not going to be in many teams, but he is slightly off the boil. Superb in there. I know James was talking about Pedersen and Ricketts. They're both on superb morale, which is a good sign. Now the big transfer news of the week. Colin Cooper, England international Colin Cooper, has joined Bolton Wanderers.
I think it's a second.
What's that? So we've got 625.
I think it's the second biggest transfer. I think the biggest one is at Fulham.
Oh really? I can't think who you're talking about. 625 grand.
Newcastle signed a big.
So Cooper will come into that Bolton team.
Yeah.
Almost certainly. So, yeah, that will threaten maybe Warhurst's place potentially. He probably won't play left wing back, but let's see what they've got. So Warhurst or Ngotti under threat there, but I mean, no one cares. So Henrik Pedersen was what James was talking about. So I really like Henrik Pedersen.
James is asking for Pedersen.
Yeah, so he's on superb morale. He's only got 1 goal and 6, which is pretty poor, let's be honest. But he can do really, really well in this game. And I think that Pedersen is potentially a really good pick. So he was someone who we priced him at 7.5, but I was tempted to price him a little bit higher. But I think he's probably about right. But I think he's a good pick. They've got some tasty fixtures, Bolton, coming up, as James pointed out on his stream on Saturday. So Sunderland, Derby, Southampton, Aston Villa at home, 4 of the next 5, and then Ipswich away. So no problem there. I think could be a good pick. I quite fancy Henrik Pedersen. I wouldn't go for Ricketts. That was another one that you mentioned.
Someone saying about
personally. I think he'll play it. I think he'll play at the back. I think they'll stick with Simon Charlton. I could be wrong, but I think Simon Charlton will stay at left wing back because he's got the defensive left position sewn up. I think Charlton. I know I did him a few weeks ago. I don't want to keep banging that drum, but for those Falkide and after, I would say Simon Charlton's a decent pick for that run of games. He could well get attacking returns and maybe with 1 or 2 little clean sheets along the way.
I've never liked him at all.
He splits opinions, Simon Charlton, doesn't he? It's like Marmite. We'll move on to Charlton, the club, next. So you can see there, morale-wise, Andy Reid is the only one who's less than okay, but he's a highly unpopular player. So none of the real first-team players there looking at anything significant. Kishishev is now fully back and ready to play, so he's at 91% ready to start. Mark Fish is on international duty this week. And I don't think there's much else happening in that squad, to be honest. So, should we move on from Charlton? Chelsea.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit behind for some reason.
Are you? Okay. Well, if I chat, mate, and then you can jump in with it. Mate, you're not following the stream time, are you? Maybe you are.
I'll let you chat.
Okay, cool. I'll chat, and then I'll have a little look on the chat as well. So if people are in the chat, I'll keep an eye on that. So Chelsea's condition here, just a reminder: Chelsea play on the Sunday, so they have got an extra day of recovery. But that's a fairly disastrous set of conditions there. I mean, Forsell, I would suggest, won't play on that, which could mean that he's up front with Hasselbank would be my guess. He may play, but he might not. I wouldn't think he'll get the whole game, and they haven't got many other options. Mario Melchiot and John Terry there, fairly low, but I think they should be okay because they're centre-backs or defenders. They don't need quite as much conditioning. And morale-wise, Leon Knight is the only one you need to worry about, but no one's thinking about him. Desai's down there on an okay. I think he'll recover that after his suspension. Zola's got a superb. Bosnich for some reason, who knows why. So I'm going to move on to Derby. Derby County, lots of superb. They've actually had a decent start to the season. They're 9th in the Prem. They've got some really good players, I think, Derby. Some quite under the radar players like Valakari, obviously Burley's popular. Don't think there's any particular headlines to go through at Derby, but it looks like everyone's doing pretty well. Boersian, he started the last game. We're adding him as a 4 million defender. So if you want to,
there was a big injury at Derby for
for Tonton. Tontonzola Makoko. We're not going to be seeing him very soon. So 3 months out for Tonton.
Indeed, yeah.
So yeah, he's not going to be getting a game anytime soon, sadly. Seth Johnson, I think, was already injured, wasn't he? But he's got 2 more weeks out still, so he'll be back after the internationals. But nothing to report at Derby. I won't spend too long on those clubs which have got low ownership. Steve Watson came off in the last game. He's out for 2 weeks with a calf strain, so that means that he'll miss game week 7 and 8 and probably be back then for game week 9. So he's out for 2 weeks. So Steve Watson, owner's heel, is looking like a sell. Paul Gerrard obviously is injured. He's got another 3 weeks to go still. Steve Simonson came in and did well for him in the last game. In terms of player conditioning, Wayne Rooney, who's the left forward there, age 16, just to show you Rooney, he is not yet known as a good player. So again, nothing to report really at Everton particularly, so we'll move on from there. Fulham. So Fulham, Martin Corrigan is returning from injury, but it looks like he may not be back in time for this game. Their next match is today, so he might play, but I would suggest that Kevin Betsy probably gets the nod at right back. I know that a few people have got him as a budget midfielder, so Kevin Betsy should play. Not much else to report there. Let's just check their injury status. Steve Bronk. Steve Bronk is out for 1 month, so that is a definite sell on Steve Bronk. He's going to miss a number of games, which is a shame because he had a good start to the season. It's a good pick. So, Fulham, Ipswich.
Indeed.
So another name I would have mentioned when you were talking about Hreiderson would have been Thomas Gardso, because he's in all competitions. He's started 6 with 1 sub appearance. He's got 3 assists also, but he is now out for 10 days, so he'll miss the next 2 games. So the reason Chelsea players tired Allen is because they played in the UEFA Cup on Thursday night. So Ipswich, they've got no other injury. Did you say Fulham have made a signing, by the way? Or did I imagine that? You're on delay, aren't you?
No, sorry, it's Newcastle.
Newcastle. Okay, cool. So Ipswich did play in Europe. So let's have a look at the fitness of their players. So Marcus Stewart, they're 78%, highly unlikely to start that game, I would have said, which is tomorrow. The other players, Carriage Makin, they're not Dickinson. These aren't real stars for them anyway. So Stewart is the one that is probably under threat there, which would suggest Pablo and maybe Alan Armstrong, I would guess, get the nod up front for them. Pablo is a quite nice little player there, but he's being rotated, so he's not particularly safe. So there he is. People have been asking for Pablo. They've got good fixtures. He will play most of them, I would have thought. he's a cheap pick. So Pablo's someone to think about. He's definitely going to play the next game, I would have said. So could go for him. Someone, Heskebo as well, was asking about Kumas before, why he didn't start and why didn't he come straight in. He also didn't play in Europe, but I would suggest that he was ineligible for Europe, so I wouldn't worry about that one. But they played against Leeds. They reverted to this very defensive formation with just one central midfielder. So I think that probably Kumas will come in and play this weekend, if I had to guess. Matt Holland's the main man for Ipswich, so he'll play every game. Me and Andy had a brief chat about him earlier. I don't know if you're up to speed now, Andy, with me or not.
I can try, but I don't know why it's delayed for some reason.
Okay, cool. Well, Matt Holland, I think, is not a bad pick. He's sort of a top-notch player on this game, so he could be good for this run of fixtures as well. Again, he's another one who, for me, Holland, Two-Guy Johnson, those sorts of players around that 7 million-ish price, put them in your team, stick with them, and change around your strikers and maybe your premium defenders. I think those are good options. So that's a long time on Ipswich, considering they don't have many players that people are interested in, but they have got that good run of fixtures coming up. So someone's asking about Finidi.
I think people would jump on Ipswich because of the fixtures are so good.
Yeah, I think Finidi is an interesting shout. So it's not looking great for him in a sense. So 1 goal in 5 appearances, but he's 100% for the next round of games. He's playing up front sometimes. I think that he is unlucky to only have 1 goal. He's had chances. We put that in the commentaries. I think Finidi is a good outside pick. He's a midfielder in the game. He's not very expensive. He's not the sort of player I go for, but if you're looking for someone in that price bracket for a few weeks, he's maybe worthy of consideration. Right, so Leeds have just played in Europe, and it looks like their players are fairly well recovered because they've got another 24 hours to go. So there's nothing really of concern here with Leeds. I think you're going to be all right, Leeds owners. Everyone looks fine there. Viduka's the lowest, but he's on 90. He'll be back up to 95 by the time the game happens. And there's a interesting one there. Harry Kewell's morale is very low, which is interesting. So he's not had a brilliant run of form, but that will impact his performances. So what happened in the last game? He got a 6 in the last game, so that is a cause for concern, I suggest, for Harry Kewell owners, that he's on very low. Rio Ferdinand also on low, so that is a worry.
Harry Kewell did score though in the last game.
He did score in the last league game, didn't he? But I do think that Kewell is slightly strange. Stephen McPhail, I believe, is back. Yep, Stephen McPhail is back fit and ready to go, so he could come into the team for the next game as well. Lee Bowyer is also fit and ready to go, so they've got some rotation selection problems that they need to think about. So Batty's been playing and doing quite well, so I would not want to commit to say who I think will play. I know that's not very helpful because you probably want to answer. I don't know why it's not. Let me look at who played in the last game. But they've got Kewell, Bakker right wing. Who was the right winger who... Oh, Bowyer might go back to right midfield. They've got a real
Mabry played right wing for a couple of games.
Yeah, Mabry. I would suggest he probably won't. So we'll move on to Leicester. We won't spend too long here. No concerns there. So Leicester, very low ownership across the board. We've highlighted some of their players before. We won't do it again. They look fine.
Akinbaye on international duty.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, Akinbaye is on international duty. Liverpool is somewhere we need to spend a bit of time because we've already covered John Arisa out for 2 weeks. Vladimir Smica is out for 3 months. Ancho is out for 3 weeks, so he'll miss the next 2 plus international, probably at least 3 games out for Ancho. In terms of conditioning, they all look fine, so there's no cause for concern there. In terms of morale, everything looking pretty healthy there. I've seen Steven Gerrard's been mentioned in the chat more than once, so his attributes are rising nicely and he's doing alright. 3 goals in 10 appearances across all competitions. You think that Gerrard, I think he could be a decent pick. I don't think Luke rates him that much. I think he's a good option. What do you think about Gerrard?
I think there's better options, but if you're looking for a Liverpool midfielder who's nailed, I think Gerrard's the way to go now, probably.
Yeah. Biscan is 5 million, so excellent stats there. 3 goals and 6 appearances as well as an assist. but he could be moving into the defence a bit now if Anjo's out. So that is one thing to be aware of. But I still think at 5 million, he's a good option that you can put on your bench and have no worries with.
I have seen Biscan play at centre back as well.
Yeah, that is also possible. Yeah. Oh, here's a big one. Juan Sebastian Veron is injured. So he's going to miss the next 2 games.
That ownership will plummet.
Yeah, so Veron is out for the next 2 games. So if it wasn't already a sell after 1 assist in 6 games, it is a nailed-on, absolute clear-cut sell on Juan Sebastian Veron now. He is out for 2 weeks. Keane is out for a week, will miss the next 2 games. So Scholes is very likely to play the next couple of games. If you want a nice short-term pun on Paul Scholes, who have they got? They've got Liverpool, Difficult and Charlton. So, yeah, that is big, Veron being out.
Scholes is decent in this game as well. I think Scholes can get some good returns in that midfield for United.
Definitely, Scholes is a very good player. So if you want a short-term pun, before you hop back to Veron, if you're feeling brave, Scholes' great attributes. You think he'll really play. So, yeah, there's big news there coming out of Man United. Veron is injured.
Andy's tip for the week is go for Paul Scholes if you're coming off Veron.
Nice.
I've said it.
I can't believe how badly Veron's done. Like I say, he's the captain of my team. I actually tipped him to be the highest point scorer of the season. I genuinely thought he'd be the highest point scorer of the season. It just does not look like it's a freak sim. He's not doing well. But still, Butt could play. But I think Scholes is highly likely to take that spot, personally. Right, Middlesbrough. Nothing to report on.
It could be Scholes and Butt really, I think, as well, because if Keane's out.
Yeah, another option is Chadwick in on the right and Beckham into central midfield. So if anyone still hold on to Chadwick, he could be in for some games. Probably worth starting if you've got him, I'd say, now with that news. Who's my vice? My vice is Luis Boamorte. I suspect that is James coming from the Championship Manager account. So, hello James, if you're in there. But yeah, Luis Boamorte is my vice. Someone asked about Gareth Southgate. He's having a fine season, but he's expensive at $5.5 million. So, yeah. Veron's out for the next 2 game weeks, Jose Vargas. Newcastle, who have got a signing who I've totally forgotten about. Oh man, I think it's even less exciting than Colin Cooper. I've realised who it is. So let's look at their condition first. Is it this guy?
Delapo.
Alayi.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
So, yeah, James says he's coming to catch me with Shearer, his captain. That's possible. I think Luis Boamorte is awesome, so I'm happy that he'll get plenty of points. So he's trying to threaten me from the official account. I can't believe it. I'll beat you, James. Alayi, so we're actually not going to add Alayi to the game just yet. So don't get too excited because we don't think he's going to play too much. So condition-wise, Newcastle, this is obviously going to be relevant for a lot of people. Alayi, he's good on ChampMan, basically. He'll get good in a few seasons. Norberto Solano is tired there at 86%. They do have another 24 hours to rest, but I would say that puts them at threat for an early substitution, maybe, rather than not starting. Don't know what you think about that. And everyone else looks like they should be more or less okay. Like Robert would be the next player of relevance, really. So all good there for Newcastle. Robbie Elliott, who got sent off at the weekend, is on loan morale. So Wayne Quinn, who I think can do well in these games, could come in. Southampton, no one has their players, really. Anders Svensson is the only one, but there's really not much to report. Wayne Bridge has picked up an injury. He's out for 2 weeks. So, just looking in the chat.
Howard as well.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that. James is saying in the chat, James, you need to come on the stream so you can tell people this rather than typing it in the chat. He says, I've gone back in and pre-transferred out all instances of Veron for everyone. Brian Howard is out for a week. But because the game week's coming thick and fast, he's going to miss 2 games. So he's had a really good start to the season, Brian Howard. But yeah, I mean, Southampton, Anders Svensson is the only player I think who people really own. 2 assists in 3 starts, and he's looking fine. Let's have a little look. I just didn't check for Newcastle injuries, sorry, so I'm just going to really quickly check for that. I've missed Middlesbrough alphabetically. Sorry. I just was so excited to get to Delapo Olai. So, Middlesbrough. So, I feel like I did look at them. Anyway, their conditions all fine.
You did look at them?
I did look at them. Should not doubt myself. Sunderland, getting there now. So, Noah Quinn on low, morale. Might be good news for Las Lands owners. Phillips is on okay. He's another player who's like having a Veron season where he is just really struggling and usually does great, but he's getting nothing at the moment. And Middlesbrough are playing terribly. Sunderland are playing terribly. Here's some injury news though, guys. There's some interesting stuff. So Thomas Sorensen is out for 10 days with a chest injury. We'll have a look.
There is an injury as well. Yeah,
we'll have a look at their replacement keepers in a second. But Thomas Sorensen is out for the next game, and Julio Arca out for 3 weeks with a twisted ankle. So that's another fairly highly owned player who is out there with an injury. So Julio Arca is out. Will miss the next 3 games. He is another must sell, I would have said, if you own him. So let's have a little quick look and just see who Middlesbrough have got in those positions. I keep on the Middlesbrough, flipping it. Who Sunderland have got. So Mickey Gray obviously will be even more nailed down on the left. I mean, they've really got...
Easily done.
Yeah. They've got a real lack of options, I would have said. So this guy, Paul Mayo, came on as a sub one game and played left back. But they don't really have much there as I look around. So it might be Mickey Gray at left back, I imagine. They might play Chris Bart-Williams in left midfield. Maybe Kevin Kilban will come in, but he played a cup game, but he's generally pretty out of favour. So it's difficult to say exactly what Sunderland are going to do there, but that would be my guess, is Bart-Williams to left wing and Mickey Gray to left back. So, and in goal, Jurgen Macho has gone out on loan to Plymouth. So looks like Jamie Ashdown, who I don't believe is in the game, looks like he'll start. If he does start, we'll add him to the game, but we'll make sure that he starts before we add him. So nothing else there to report. Sunderland, obviously the Arca injury will...
Do you not want to take a risk on Ashdown and add him at 4 million at all, Dave?
We could do. The reason I'm slightly wary is because we've only got a limited number of spots that we can add new players in, I think. So I don't want to waste it on Ashdown just for Kennedy to play. So I think not enough people will buy him to justify it, probably.
Okay, fine.
Here you go, Planet FPL says Pedersen is at home to Sunderland. So Sunderland with their reserve goalkeeper and a terrible player playing at either left back or left midfield. I think that's a great shout, Planet FPL. You've got my stamp of approval on that transfer. Good move. Yeah, Sunderland are a definite avoid. A definite avoid. Right, Spurs. Condition-wise, everyone's fine. Obviously, Ziga is... We've already shared, he's out for 2 weeks. So there's a few players here actually. If you're unlucky, you could definitely conceivably have Ziga, Arca, Veron, all very popular players. But Ziga is out. Selakovic's morale has recovered to superb after a couple of really good performances, one in the League Cup and one in the league. Les Ferdinand down here, very low morale, as well as Leonardson and Etherington. So that's something to be aware of. I really think that Les Ferdinand is... People have been talking about him, but I really don't think he's going to play much. So, people ask about Sunderland fixtures, which is a good question because they're going to be weak the next couple of games. So they've got Bolton away next. So Bolton players. Who plays right wing for Bolton? Testing me there. We can have a look at Liverpool though. I was talking about Danny Murphy earlier. If Liverpool playing right wing, that strengthens the case for Danny Murphy for me. I think it's a very weak Sunderland left flank, and also for Heskey as well potentially. So 2 players that could be worth thinking about there. Bolton, Neil Maddison, who is not a bad pick in this game. Again, I think he's a potentially good play. He's 5.5 million. Neil Maddison. Right, nearly there, and then we'll answer any other questions that people have. So West Ham. So we now have Shaka Hislop is out of favour. Titi Camara is tired at 22%, and lots of players who obviously played a reserve game here for them. Christian Daly on low morale, nothing to really worry about. No one has him. Nothing to report at West Ham. Everything is fine at West Ham. So that's club by club done. Have you got the questions there, Andy? I know you're on a maybe 3 or 4 seconds delay, but do you want to go through the questions and we'll try and answer between us? Maybe take one each.
I think it's pretty much covered.
Okay.
What we've gone through already, and this delay is pretty bad. I don't know why it's delaying so much.
I don't think it's too bad now, actually, mate. I think you're more or less up with it, so I wouldn't worry too much. Don Hutchison, someone's asking about. That's a bold pick. 6 appearances, no goals.
Yeah, guys. And any more questions, guys? We have in the for the chat.
Yeah, stick your questions in the chat. Nothing is fine at West Ham, says James, Planet FPL. That's true. That's why I spend so little time on it. You basically got Canio Canute. That's it. Forget everyone else from West Ham. Maybe Repka, like you were saying. Let's have a look at David Beckham. I feel like Beckham.
I think Repka's a decent pick. I know.
Yeah, I mean he's a nailed on 4.5 million defender. I just personally don't fancy West Ham. I'd much rather go for like Ipswich or Simon Charlton, who you love. Would be picks for me above him. That's Beckham right there. Someone's asked about
I think if
picks,
I was going off the run, I wouldn't go to Beckham or Giggs. I would just go straight to Scholes.
Yeah, I think Scholes is a good pick. Yeah, he's a short-term pick, isn't he? But I think if you want a short-term pick, he's a good one. Lucas asked about Arsenal set pieces, so let me have a little look at that for you, mate. So
and 8.5 million.
Scholes. Right, we're looking for Arsenal set pieces here, so I'm going to have to go through. They obviously didn't get many shots on target in this game, so that might mean they didn't get many corners. Free kick here being taken by Ashley Cole. Going to keep on hunting through, see if we can find any more Arsenal set pieces. If not, I'll go to the Champions League game. So where the red card hits. Yeah, we're not seeing much Arsenal action here. Van Bronckhorst taking a free kick here on 65-66. So not much there. Let me have a quick look at the Copenhagen game where there might be a bit more action for Arsenal. I think they had a lot more of the ball there. Someone's asked about Pires. What's your thoughts on Pires, Andy? Do you want to give your Pires thoughts while I go through? Maybe you are on a delay. It's long. I
think it's delayed quite badly.
Yeah, it definitely is delayed pretty badly. So Van Bronckhorst again on corners here. So my suggestion is going to be that Van Bronckhorst takes the set pieces when he's on. And Ashley Cole is going to be the backup there. So Pires, I think, is a bad pick. Not because he can't perform well, because he can, but there's just too much rotation. They've got Tikhonov, they've got Ljungberg, even Parler can play out there. They've got plenty of players who can play in the position. So I would say Pires, you can do much better for the money there. Let's have a little look. Best front line ongoing. So Andy, feel free to jump in at any time, but because it's so delayed, I'm going to talk, and if you just jump in, I'll stop talking. So best front line, I think we've talked about Boksic already. I think Boksic is a really great pick.
Yeah, fine, will do.
Nice. So I think Boksic is a really great pick. Who else have we talked about? Rebrov is obviously, he's quite expensive, but he's a good potential option. I think Emil Heskey at 7 million is a really good differential. For me, you want to try and pick players who are a little bit different. Like James was talking about this on the stream on Saturday. He's picking Pedersen because, if Van Nistelrooy bangs, then obviously everyone's got him. But there's certain players who, if they perform well, everyone's got them. And if they perform badly, everyone's got them. Whereas if they perform badly and your player performs well, you can really make ground. So I think, again, it's how I like to play FPL, is try and be a bit different. So I think Pedersen is a great shout. I mean, James picking him is a pretty good endorsement as well. So if you want a few 7 million picks, Pedersen, Heskey and Boksic around that 7.5, you get all good options.
I think a good differential could be Stefan Everson, especially now that a lot of people are jumping on Rebrov. Everson is the same price. I think he's going to be starting up front, and I think he's just as good as Rebrov. I've seen plenty of sims where he can just bang 30 goals. And with the fixtures, if you're looking to climb the ranks, everyone's going to be jumping on Rebrov. Everson is a gamble, but I think he can deliver.
Yeah, I think Everson. So I agree. I think Everson can score more goals than Rebrov potentially. He's more swingy. Like he can score 5 goals or he can score 20 plus, no problem. And I think having had the start they've had, I think he's a brave person who goes away from Rebrov, but he is a different choice for sure. Someone asked about Keane's suspension. That starts sort of from the international break onwards. Try and grab any other questions that we've got. Some questions about condition, we've sort of seen all of those. So someone's asking about Sheringham. Me picking is not a good endorsement, ChampMan, says James. Well, you're not bad at this game, mate. You're not bad. You're doing fine. I think it's decent. You're just trying to put people off your differential, I reckon. So Teddy Sheringham is there. He's again a decent option at his price. He's 7 million, I think, maybe 7.5, and he's a decent option at the price. A good way into a Spurs attack. They're likely to score goals. So again, Fulham, Blackburn, both.
I still think Teddy Sheringham is someone that can drop away.
He definitely can drop away. You need to be ready to sell him, but there's plenty of other options.
I can see Slakovic getting that cam roll.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could drop away, but I feel there's enough options at that price range. Like that's a nice price range. I think you've sort of got the premiums, the Van Nistelrooy, Henry's. I still think Henry is a really good pick, by the way, I should say. I know that people have been knocking his price, but I feel like Henry can outperform Van Nistelrooy. So you've got those two. Probably I'd go for one of those two, probably Rude at the moment, and then a couple of 7 millions alongside them would be me quite happy.
Yeah, and I'd still keep Jason Newell if you owned him as well. I think Jason Newell's decent.
Yeah, he's another one at that price bracket, really good option. Arsenal midfield, sums up at Ljungberg. I would just avoid Ljungberg, Tikhonov, Pires, all of those. Just there's too much rotation there. I just would not bother personally. There's better options for that to use that money on. Beckham, for instance, or some of the other players we've talked about on the stream. Danny Murphy's another good differential punt. I think I'd say he's my tip of the week. Danny Murphy. Go for Danny Murphy if you want to be a bit different.
Fine. You go Danny Murphy, I'll go Paul Scholes.
Okay, yeah, we'll see how they perform next week. I've got like a million change in my pocket as well, so that's quite nice. I'll have a quick look at Boxitch, and then I think we've already seen him tonight. And then I think we'll check out. So, was there any more questions from Twitter at all, Andy, that we haven't covered?
No, we did cover it all, so that's
great. Fantastic. One thing to flag with Borough quickly, mate, is just that Noel Whelan is back from injury. He's been out. He played the first 4 games, missed a couple with injury. There's a few coming through in the chat really quickly.
I'll just have a quick look at any injuries we may have missed.
Yeah, you have a look at that. And I'll, someone's asking Optimus Prime.
Bowyer McPhail back to full fitness.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. We covered everything else there.
Okay, great.
So that's fine.
Optimus Prime, what's your opinion on Viduka? I know you like Viduka, don't you, Andy? What do you reckon?
Viduka's my zombie team captain. High hopes for him this season. He's delivered in a couple of games. I'd keep Viduka. Good price. Nailed on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
So I think Viduka's a good pick too. I do feel like with the way the game's going, I would probably go, like I say, for a premium captain option like a Van Nistelrooy, and then I'd be looking at 7 million. So I would be looking at. He's not an urgent sell for me, but I would begin to be thinking about moving away from him personally. Ian Parron points out that my pick has got Man United away.
I mean, if I was picking 3 at this. If I was picking 3 at this stage, I think I would go for probably keep on Viduka, probably Rebrov or Everson, and Boxic, maybe Yule, but probably Boxic at this stage.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think there's a lot of options. Let's have a little look. Someone else, something else that I was going to come to. Seaman to stay in nets. I think Seaman will stay in nets until he makes a mistake. Really, he's always got the axe just above his head, but I think he's a good pick. I think he'll he's in a great defence, like the second best defence probably in the game, if not the best, joint best. So I think Seaman's a really good pick if you've got him and you've been brave. Good choice. And if you're wildcarding, I would 100% have Seaman in my team if I was wildcarding, with a playing backup so that you can move away if you need to. Are you enjoying yourselves? Says James Pan FPL. I'm enjoying myself. I mean, I really enjoy the streams. It's nice to chat to you all and get a bit of interaction. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, guys. It's every Saturday and Wednesday I'm enjoying the streams, but also just seeing the meltdowns, reading all the chats. I put on the Twitter on Saturday as well. Just the addiction I have of everyone posting their teams and me going through the teams and going, how much are they scoring? So they'll get that. Oh, he's going to be happy.
Yeah.
Or can't wait to see his celebrations later when he scores. So I just enjoy all that. So I am enjoying myself a lot. Yeah.
The best one is when you see. This is just a random example. Like, you know, for instance, this weekend you see ones like, should I have like Stolzers and Boxic, who, you know, Stolzer scores and gets man of the match, and Boxic who gets double. So should I pick these two, or, you know, some other random players who scored 2 points each? You think, oh, your game week is going to just absolutely pivot on those choices. But so that is quite enjoyable. It's a lot of hard work, which is we're happy to put in for everyone.
Yeah, I saw a team.
To see people's reaction. Go on, mate. You go for it.
Yeah, guys, really enjoying it. Just keep interacting with us. We'll just try and keep it as fun as we can during this tough time.
Absolutely.
This delay is killing me, so I might have to go.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Well, I think it's time to sign off anyway. So, auto close John Harley. We've already looked at John Harley. I think you should pick him. He's another good differential. Brad Lewis says he thinks we should be allowed a wild card. I think we can chat about that. I'm winning out of the three of us, so, you know, as far as I'm concerned, no wild cards. But maybe we do that halfway through. Maybe have a wild card each on our zombie team. For now,
by distance as well.
What's that? I'm going to get an answer in about 10 minutes, aren't I?
Are you winning by a distance at the moment?
Am I? That's good. Right, we're going to sign off, guys. Our streams are lagging, and we love you all too. And thanks for tuning in. It's a lot of fun. Keep enjoying it. Stay safe. Stay indoors. Wash your hands. And we'll see you next Sunday night, 9:30. All right. Cheers, Andy. Cheers,
guys.
Else.
All the best. See you Wednesday.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
And it's the same thing as always. It's going to take me 5 minutes to stop going live. Bye.